You just realized your business needed to hire someone yesterday. How can you find amazing candidates fast? Easy. Just use Indeed. Stop struggling to get your job post seen on other job sites. With Indeed sponsored jobs, your post jumps to the top of the page for your relevant candidates, so you can reach the people you want faster. According to Indeed data, sponsored jobs posted directly on Indeed have 45% more applications than non-sponsored jobs. Don't wait any longer. Speed up your hiring right now with Indeed. And listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit to get your jobs more visibility at Indeed.com/PODKATZ13. Just go to Indeed.com/PODKATZ13 right now and support our show by saying you heard about Indeed on this podcast. Terms and conditions apply. Hiring? Indeed is all you need.
She is sure, she is sure, she is strong, she is strong, she is true, she is true. She is brave, she is brave, she is bold, she is bold. She is you, she is you, she is you, she is you. She is sure, she is sure, she is strong, she is strong, she is true, she is true. She is brave, she is brave, she is bold, she is bold. She is you.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's Word of Mom Radio here on the Word of Mom Media Network. I'm your host, Dori DeCarlo, and you know we are here week after week, show after show, breaking those myths that mompreneurs and businesswomen, especially those of us building our businesses from home, that we're just dabbling in between bake sales and getting our nails done, we're not. We are smart, we are savvy, and we are sharing the wisdom of women in business and in life. And I'm looking forward to bringing today's guest into our Healthy Habits show. Amita Sharma is the co-founder of NourishDoc, a global holistic wellness platform for women to manage their hormone transition from PMS to postmenopause. Inspired by her perimenopausal journey and working in the high-tech world, Amita felt unsupported and a need to bring the taboo topic of perimenopause at the workplace out for an open discussion. With her personal experience of going through perimenopause and keeping it a secret, it added more stress to her perimenopause state. Amita is on a mission to make this taboo topic be a part of DEI, health equity at work for women in their 40s who feel that they cannot discuss this with HR or their colleagues. It really is such a ridiculous thing that this is such a taboo subject because every woman is going to go through it if you live long enough. So with all this being said, Amita, welcome to Word of Mom Radio.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And you guys are doing incredible work, talking about all kinds of topics that we are so scared to bring it out and open, this being one of them. So I am really excited to share my journey and also hear your journeys and maybe share some laughs during the show.
Absolutely. And you know what? I think it is so important. It is 2025. Women should not feel embarrassed, humiliated about the natural things that go on in our bodies every month. And then as we age, going through the change. It's amazing. So I would love for you, Amita, to take us on your journey and share what inspired you to start this business and this huge venture and, kind of some of the lessons that you learned along the way.
Yeah, my journey, at the time when the perimenopause started, I was in my early 40s. And to be honest with you, I had no clue what perimenopause was until I started this business. It's like, an average educated woman does not know what perimenopause is, right? And I went through this whole perimenopause journey in silence and suffering, thinking that God knows what's happening with me, and I go to my OBGYN, I get medication, and my body doesn't react good to these strange medications, on a regular basis. So I started turning to holistic and I experimented. And that's not the way we should do. Now I look back, right? And then on top of that, at work, I'm getting hot flashes, and I'm not sleeping well at night, and at work, I'm not able to focus, and I'm like, oh my God, the age discrimination. It's like, and I'm so scared to go talk to HR with not that they don't know my age, but I'm scared, like, oh, they might judge me, right? That they might tell my manager, oh, she might is not able to focus, keep an eye on her, and things like that, right? In my head, I'm sharing what's going on in my head at the time, and I'm like so stressed out, so with anxiety, just wanted to get through this whole phase of my life, and it took 10 years. It's so that's the point I'm trying to make is perimenopause is a state, a transition of for women towards the menopause, which happens when you're 51, 52 on an average. And that state could last up to 10 years or maybe more or some less for some women. For me, it was a long, drawn out anxiety, stress, all kind of strange things happening. And women don't feel that they can't talk to anyone. I felt that. And it impacts their livelihood, financial, which it impacted me as well because I ended up quitting jobs after every year and a half and taking up some consulting and then taking breaks in between because I could not function like the pressure of a full-time corporate job because I was not able to manage my symptoms properly, is what I'm saying. And I'm sure the story is of millions of women out there, even today, every day.
It's amazing because each of us, let's face it, every woman is different.
Yeah.
I had horrible periods. I had 2 D&Cs because of polyps. I mean, it was awful. And then, but I used to get my period the first Friday of the month at 5:00. I'd go into the
5:00.
Yeah,
Okay.
5:00 in the afternoon. I'd go into the bathroom, put on a pad, and go on with my day. And so I was going to be 58 in November. That August, got my period. September, we're camping out. I didn't get my period. And I'm sitting there, and all of a sudden I went, oh my gosh, I think I'm having a hot flash. And my daughter looks at me and she goes, "You freak of nature." She's like, I mean, her boss had been going through menopause since she was 40, the
Oh my
perimenopause
God.
and hot flashes and everything. I had my first hot flash at 58 years old. And
Seriously?
yes, seriously, it literally just was like, oh, okay. But I can't even tell you my friend one time we were watching a football game and here she is in her house. She had on sweatshirt, pants, everything. All of a sudden she's going, hot flash, hot flash. Look over, she's in her underwear because she had soaked through all
Oh my God.
clothes. So there is such extremes that
Yeah.
women go through. And
Yeah.
while you're in business and you're working, you were saying about
Yeah.
switching jobs and things. How do you hit those significant hurdles that you're
Yeah.
dealing with in this perimenopausal state where
Yeah.
you are so losing focus and everything else?
Yeah.
How did
Yeah.
you handle things like that, Amita?
I resorted to holistic. To be honest with you, I'm a big, always have been a big believer of Ayurveda acupuncture. So the way I had dealt with that, I started going regularly for acupuncture practice, right? And it helps. It helps. There is evidence. And then I started getting regular Ayurvedic practices, therapy. Things like Shirodhara, I don't know if you're familiar with these terms. I will explain you in a minute. Things like Abhyanga, things like some of the other supplements, So I resorted to these therapies. It comes to me naturally. I changed my entire diet. I changed my entire exercise regimen. I cleaned up, like you won't even believe my diet, No alcohol, very little alcohol once a month, no caffeine, like really cleansing. And then I started cleansing my system very systematically. Every 2 months I'll go on a very mono diet, for 2-3 days, like a plain, very simple soup kind of a diet, right? So it cleanses my system. So I went on that. I had to go on that because otherwise I was not able to function. And then, in the last 2 3 years, when I was researching into, I wanted to do something in wellness, and this suddenly like a tube light came back to me, and I interviewed like about 3,000 experts from all over the world, most of them women, mid-age, 40 something, and they all talked about the issues they were having. And I said, oh my God, I had the same issues. And they were all talking about menopause. I'm like, why don't I just, dip my toes here in menopause and see if there is anything in it, right? That's kind of how this whole thing started. I started talking to people and they say, yeah, oh my God, you kidding me? I have the same thing. That's,
Amita, we say it all the time on this show. Women start with why. They see something, they're going through it, and then they start to realize, wait a minute, if I have this need or I'm going through this, I can't be alone. There have to be other women that are dealing with this too.
Yeah.
And it really is, the most frustrating part of it is that we still feel embarrassed.
Yes, we don't discuss.
It's crazy. It really is. It's absolutely crazy that at this time of life and at this time of our evolution as a species, that women still have to feel so ashamed and everything else of something that, I'm sorry, it creates life. We are life givers. So going through menopause is the end of that. And to me, the real beginning of our tremendous wisdom. And as somebody who's looking at it holistically, that is why other cultures, the women who now have gone through menopause and are no longer losing that part of themselves, that is who the elders are. That is who they are, the most respected women. That's who you come to for healing and energies and everything else. And it's only in this country and in our culture that we're meant to feel like, we need to step into our power. We really do. And I think it's really important, and it's, as you were talking about doing things holistically, that's me. And everybody on the, who listens to the show regularly knows that. I ate a lot of soy. I ate a lot of edamame the whole time I was going through. When I found I would get like hot flash clusters, and then I wouldn't get them for weeks. And then I'd get handfuls of edamame, just eating the soy and stuff like that, trying to make sure that I'm keeping myself. I didn't want to take, my gynecologist went to give me these horse hormone pills. I'm like, I don't think so. I can't see putting that stuff in my body, but that's me. Everybody has to take their wellness journey their way.
No, HRT, of course, the traditional HRT tablets or whatever, they are with the horse's urine, right? That's how they have been made. And it works with some women. Not that I'm personally against taking any medication or HRT, and doesn't work for some other women. And I personally more believer in, like you are saying, of supplementing with phytoestrogens, foods that are containing natural estrogens, like soy, like edamame, like I eat broccoli and these cauliflowers of the way, and the seeds, things like that. I and maybe some supplements that have a natural estrogen in it, to supplement my body of the receding hormones that's happening, right, for all of us. So I think women, what I felt is that as a woman, women don't even understand. I'm talking about an average woman, not like you and me. They don't even understand what's happening or what's going to happen in their bodies, and how it's going to impact not only their physical. We're talking about the physical sense, but also their careers. Their intimacy with their partners, their relationships. Right? I mean, we're not even scratching that surface. Right? It can impact everything around you. That's what women don't understand, and they need to understand that.
On that note, I want to come back and talk about that. We're going to take a quick break, say thank you to our sponsors, and we'll be back here in just a moment on Word of Mom Radio.
She is brave, she is bold, she is you, and we want to tell your story. Are you ready to share your journey with us on Word of Mom Radio? Go to wordofmomradio.com and register as a guest. We want to tell your story because when you win, we all win.
In 2017, Unsilenced Voices was formed to help survivors of domestic abuse and gender-based violence worldwide. The organization currently serves Sierra Leone, Rwanda, Ghana, and the USA. In 2022, Unsilenced Voices gifted over $33,000 to survivors in the USA, and in Sierra Leone, there are over 26 young girls who have been rescued from sex trafficking and domestic abuse and now going through vocational training school in order to better their lives. We need your help. Donations are critical in order for us to continue our work. We also need volunteers to help with research and development. Please visit unsilencedvoices.org for more information.
And we're back here on Word of Mom Radio. We are talking with Amita Sharma, co-founder of NourishDoc. I want to talk about the different things that women can do and what needs to be shared and what we need to learn about the whole perimenopausal, menopause, postmenopausal, all of those things that are going on. So just let's talk, Amita.
Yeah, absolutely. So, the first thing is women need to understand different stages, right? It's not just menopause. And most of us, including me, thought menopause is hot flashes, brain fog. You don't know there are so many other symptoms that are associated with when you're going through this whole transition. So women need to understand the fact, perimenopause, which we talked about earlier very quickly, the transition into menopause. Menopause is, by the way, just one day. It's basically your birthday in the sense you haven't gone through period for 12 consecutive months. That is the menopause birthday. And then for rest of your life, you are postmenopausal, all of us, right? So we need to understand these three distinct phases. That's number one. And then within the perimenopause, women need to understand what first stage, then the second stage, and the years right before menopause. The symptoms could be different because the hormones fluctuations can be different. So we don't understand that. And that's what we need to have a better understanding because, we say, oh my God, most of my friends, oh my God, I'm putting on weight, right? So many of women complain about the weight on their midriff, it's not going away. Oh, I just smell air and I put on weight, but we don't understand why the heck all these things happening. So, these are the things we need to understand how our female sex hormones in the first stages of the perimenopause are acting up. Progesterone is going down first, estrogen is still at the top, and most of us can get estrogen dominant. And because of that, the weight part comes into being, right? So this is just basic knowledge, what I feel that all of us should understand why it is happening and what should we do about it, right? Then as we inch towards further into the perimenopause, as a side note or side symptom, the sexual desire could also fluctuate. Loss of libido can happen. We don't understand, right? And we don't want to talk about it to our partners. That's the other thing we should understand. We should talk about it, right? Don't you think
Absolutely.
so?
Well, 1,000%. And I don't think when you have that intimate partner that there's any subject you shouldn't be able to talk about. And, because let's face it, if you're going through menopause, they're dealing with erectile dysfunction.
Exactly.
So, you're both going through a shift in what you're going to be able to do and what to do and desire and all the rest of it, but you've got athletes out there talking about stuff for erectile dysfunction, but women don't get up and talk about perimenopause and postmenopause. We don't. And we should, because there's nothing to be ashamed about. What kind of things can you do to foster that
The desire.
libido, things like that? Huh.
Mm-hmm. No, there are a lot of things you can do. See, that's what we don't understand. Is basically it's the blood flow, right? And I'm not a medical doctor. I'm sharing all this information after doing research and talking in my interviews with about 3,000 experts. So just a little disclaimer here. But some of the breathing exercises, for example, some of the yoga postures, some of the pelvic health, right? The pelvic health area where the blood flow kind of gets a little bit lower because of the hormonal fluctuations. All these can be done, right, to bring the energy back. And so that's what I think. And also some of the foods we were talking about. There's some kind of an orgasmic meditation that has research, believe it or not. I'm using the word orgasmic meditation, but it is true. One of the MDs, actually, she teaches this and it helps. So some of the practices of firing up, the Kundalini or in yogic terms, some of the yogic practices that can fire up, that can bring this desire back. And the big thing also is your anxiety and stress. Most of us are stressed in the mid-age, if you think about it. So you really need to, it's all interconnected. If you're relaxed, right, your desires will also come. So I think by the time we reach in mid-age, we have already, accumulated so much baggage, whether it's kids, whether it is job, whether it is stress, anxiety. So all that relaxation techniques help with building the desire, right? So these techniques can be done, diligently, and also talking openly. You don't want to hold on to everything. So things like I said, pelvic health exercises, some yoga postures, some breathing exercises, some supplements, making sure, the food we are talking about, all these combined, even some acupuncture and Ayurvedic practices can help bring all that, that energy back. Right? And that's what people should discuss openly and see what is it that they can do to at least having some kind of a maintenance and not go completely dip into it, right? Because it is important. The reason is that 60% of the women in US and UK who are getting divorced are going through the menopausal journey. So it is a fact. And we never talk about it. And I'm not saying sexual health and intimacy is the only reason why they're getting divorced, but I am sure if you ask them, this could be one of the reasons, right? This could be. I'm not saying this is the only reason.
It makes perfect sense because, again, both partners, the hormone shifts that are going on, and when you don't openly discuss things like that out of embarrassment, whatever, then the rifts begin. To the women out there that are listening, they're looking to start businesses, things like that, and they're also dealing with this. What do you want to say to them, Amita?
Yeah, because women who are trying to start their businesses, I would just say simple thing like open communication, right? I am like that. I hold on to things. I don't say openly, right, what I'm feeling. Many times I have changed over the years. But if you are trying to start businesses, especially in these kind of sexual health, or I don't know, something that is very kind of discreet is the word, you need to be able to discuss this openly, open a channel of communication without the fear of being judged. And that's what most of us are fearful of. I know myself, for years and years, I was fearful of being judged by others, how everybody else will perceive me. And we women had this amazing ability that we feel more important how others are feeling about us than we are feeling about ourselves. And that's my biggest advice to most of the women who are listening, that pay attention to what you are feeling. Listen to your internal voice more than worry about how others are going to feel about you, how others are going to judge you. Don't be conscious about your looks and the body image all the time. Just be comfortable with who you are. It's easy said than done, but I know. But that's really what I want to say to women out there.
That's a great message to give. It really truly is. because, it's not about being a size 2. Not everybody is. It's about
Yes.
being healthy where you are, both physically
Yes.
and mentally.
Yes.
I have to ask, as we're wrapping up, because we were talking about it right before we started, I would love for you to tell us about the app that you are creating that's going to be coming out.
So the app is about really helping women. They should feel safe when they come to the app and ask questions. And we wanted to make it affordable as well. We didn't want to be so like price prohibitive for women. So the app is really starts with the self-care. You can do self-care and it be super affordable, like $10 a month, something like that. And then you go into the next stage of where you will you have the ability to ask questions from the experts, different type of experts, like sexual therapists, as an example, a yoga, a mindset, or a dietitian, or MD, different type of experts. So you can ask these questions. So next would be that. And finally, a concierge services where you can feel safe and do one-on-one. So the app would be designed, like I said, in a simple tiered way, starting with some simple, affordable, then going to the next level, and the concierge way. And we're releasing in March. So I'm really super excited because I genuinely want this app to be accessible to as many women in the world as possible.
Well, we will make sure that by the time this show airs, this is going to be live. So you will be able to click on the links and find out more about it. And I really encourage you to. So as we're wrapping up, Amita, what would you like to leave our listeners with, and how may they reach out to you?
Well, they can go to www.nourishdoc.com. That's our website, and that's where we will be posting the link to download the app as well. What I want to leave the listeners with is investing in yourself, believing in yourself. Self-care, self-love is not selfish. You owe it to yourself. You have given your life. You have given yourself to your family, to your parents, to your everyone. Give everything now for yourself. That's what I really want to leave all the women with.
I love that. And we say it all the time. Self-care is not selfish, because you know what, moms out there? The family revolves around you. You are that nucleus. And if your nucleus is not spinning correctly, everything is going to bounce off you. It's not going to be able to flow. So take care of you, moms. You deserve it. I love your message, Amita, and I am so happy that you came and took the time to be with us today on Word of Mom Radio. Thank you so much. For all of you tuning in, I want to thank you for being with us. We're going to close out with our fabulous theme song from Smith Sisters and the Sunday Drivers. So till next time, this is Dori DeCarlo saying go out and create a marvelous you. Bye for now.
She is sure. She is sure. She is strong. She is strong. She is true. She is true. She is brave. She is brave. She is bold. She is bold. She is you. She is you. She is you. She is you. She is sure. She is sure. She is strong. She is strong. She is true. She is true. She is brave. She is brave. She is bold. She is bold. She is you. She is you. She is you. She is you. Sure of herself, yeah, she takes care of biz. Powerful and strong, yeah, she knows who she is. Has integrity, woman strong and true. You know her by name, see this woman is you. She is sure. She is sure. She is strong. She is strong. She is true. She is true. She is brave. She is brave. She is bold. She is bold. She is you. She is you. She is you. She is you. She is sure. She is sure. She is strong. She is strong. She is true. She is true. She is brave. She is brave. She is bold. She is bold. She is you. She is you. She is you. She is you. Adds value and hope. Has proved to be brave. See, it's never too late. Never time to behave. Reaching for dreams. Doesn't matter the age. Believes in herself. Unleashed from her cage. She is sure. She is sure. She is strong. She is strong. She is true. She is true. She is brave. She is brave. She is bold. She is bold. She is you. She is you. She is you. She is you. is you.